Merry Christmas from Antigua. I just wanted to come on live today, my first YouTube live, to say Merry Christmas from the land of 365 beaches, the land of sun, the land of beauty. It's been a rough year for a rough couple of years. I mean, many of us still say we're still in 2020. That's how rough it's been. But it's Christmas, and we should still celebrate and find light and joy in life even through the challenges. For me, books have been one of my lights and joy. I've actually read quite a few this year for me because I've been a slow reader these recent years. And my most recent book is Grenada Road, a memoir by Pauline Marshall, Barbadian American writer. And I actually thought I'd end the year or do my first YouTube live as a reading in bed. I haven't done one of those in a while, of an excerpt from Triangular Road, the review for which is already posted on my blog, Johadli, JHOHADLI.wordpress.com. Um, if you're interested in Christmas in the Caribbean, I also have a new creative space, which is named Caribbean Christmas, which tells a little bit of the history of masquerade at Christmas time in the Caribbean. But for now, I just wanted to share a little bit of Triangular Road by Paul Marshall. This is actually from the section where this is actually from one of my favorite sections because we're going to read chapters and it has time in different parts of the world, Europe, Africa, Caribbean, the parts of the world that have touched her life and that have touched our collective lives as Black people. In fact, I say in my review that I think the title Triangular Road is a reference or a callback to the triangle trade through which bodies from Africa were moved into the Caribbean, trade into Europe. So in this section, she's in Grenada and she's struggling with writer's block. And as a writer, this section just really appealed to me for a number of reasons. I would highly recommend reading this book, but I'll read just a little bit. Back in the VW room, that's the room in which she would blockade herself every day to try to write. Back in the VW room, on the morning after the trip to Carriacou, she had spent a night in Carriacou, participating in the Nation Dance, which is a dance and drumming where they sort of remember their ancestral heritage, and it actually was the jumping off point for her novel, the first novel of hers that I read, Praise Song for the Widow. So back in the VW room, on the morning after the trip to Carriacou, I abruptly stopped before uncovering the typewriter and beginning another frustrating day of throwaway writing. Instead, I suddenly, purposefully gathered up the stack of steno pads containing my research notes. Next, I marched the pads, every last one of them, over to the house. There in the storage closet, I respectfully deposited them in one of the expensive suitcases that, thanks to the Guggenheim, had replaced the Delanceys. Once all the pads were inside, I closed and locked the lid of the suitcase. I also closed and locked the closet door. Then back in the VW room, I sat down at the Royal, took several deep yoga breaths, and began writing my novel. Finally understanding, fledgling that I still was, that as a fiction writer, a novelist, a storyteller, a fabulist, as it were, my responsibility first and foremost was to the story above all else, the old verities of people, plot, and place, a story that, if honestly told and well crafted, would resonate with the historical truths contained in these stenopads. All of it would be there for those capable of reading in depth. Never let what really happened get in the way of the truth, a sage somewhere is known to have said. That first day back in Grenada, the paralysis broken, I wrote non-stop until it was time for my standing date with my son at Grand Dance Beach. The green flash at sunset? Even with the siege lifted, I still never managed to see it in our almost year-long stay in Grenada. I think this section appealed to me because I have been struggling with writing through these last few years. I'm working on a short story collection. I actually started a new project trying to give myself a jump in November, writing a little bit every day. I don't know if that project is going anywhere, if it's throwaway writing, but it certainly got me back into the rhythm of writing, and I'm trying to keep that rhythm going. And so hopefully you'll see and hear new things from me in the new year. Until then, I will continue reading Reading feeds me, it is my happy place. And my most recent read, the read that I probably will end the year with, unless, the reading God smile on me and I get to finish another book, will be Triangular Road by Polly Marshall. Merry Christmas to you. I wish you everything that you hope for yourself in the new year. And yay, I did my first live YouTube. Bye.